assuming everybody is going. Right. Now, can everybody still see the whiteboard? Okay, can everybody see the screen? Okay, cool. I'm going to do this as fast as you all let me to do it today. I'm also not going to go so fast that you all kind of like, ah, what's going on? Actually, Megan, you're going to need to turn your chair around or sit somewhere where you can be able to go both, so you can draw, sketch, and watch. Anyone else? There you go, that works. Okay. If you need to, you can use one of the books as something to put your sketchbook. If you just have paper, if you need to do it that way, you're welcome to. All right? Okay, I'm excited. Good morning, everyone. This is, if you haven't got to know a little bit about me in a month or so, month and a half that we've been together, this is one of the things that I personally enjoy doing a lot. I've shared some of my work with you all before, but with character development, this is something that I've actually gotten paid to do in a lot of different avenues, in a lot of different things. Actually, I want to show you this because I want to find out from you all what and where do you see character design? Where do you think character design can be used? Yeah, what you got?
Animation.
Animation, okay. So when you say animation specifically, what are you talking about?
Like anime or like cartoons or something.
Okay, so again, that's kind of vague. So give me specifics. Where would you see those things at? What was it? TV. Okay, so we got TV. What else? Okay, so we now have books. So now we're not talking about animation anymore. We're talking something different. What else?
Billboards.
Billboards. Okay. Where else would we see character development for characters? Movies. Okay, that's back to our animation potentially here. Okay. Where else? Yeah, shout it out. Games. Okay, that's a big one. Okay, where exactly on paper? Jake, that's good. Okay, just like pamphlets, to say that, or advertisements. Would that work for you, Jake? Okay, so we got advertisements, whether that's billboards or print material. What else? Kayleen, did you? Comics. Okay, so that kind of falls under the books. Comics is a big one. Where else? What was it? Claymation. Okay, it's a different type of animation, but yeah, we could go that way as well. I'll just keep writing here. Where else? Ooh, mascot. Okay, very good. Mascots. What else? What else? Yes?
Theater.
Theater. Okay. So we could see that in an advertisement. We could see for the theater, we could see it on the billboard. And for the one thing, we could also see it in the movies. Yes, Louis? Tattoos, okay. That's a different whole ball game right there. What else we got? What else we got?
Toys.
Yes?
Like costumes, kind of?
Costumes, kind of? Like, how about we go clothing on that? Okay, so we could have it definitely. How many have bought clothing, whether now or at some point in your life? I know it's true because I've seen it on you. But how many of you all have bought clothing just because there was a character on it? Most of us at some point in our life have. Or it's been purchased for us because it has had that. What else? What else do we got? There's one that sort of has been missed a little bit. But I'm just going to throw it out there. How many of you all have ever seen a product with a character on the packaging? Yeah?
That's there for fabric softener.
Yeah, the pair for fabric softener. So we're going to say products on that to kind of wrap it all up. Okay, so today, here's what we're going to do. If you want to look, I'm going to give you kind of the overview. I like to know what's coming when I'm a student. So today I'm going to show you some videos. We're also going to have a lot of hands-on. For all of you that have a little bit of anxiety about drawing, whether you're watching it on the video, you're not able to be here today, or you're doing it with me here live, don't think complex, okay? We're going to break this down to very, very basic shapes. The point of all of this today is to teach you not only how to do an animation, or eventually, that's going to be something in the next week or so whenever we get into animate, but we're also, you've already done the self-portrait vector. How many feels like you've done a pretty complex, or it's more complex, doing a vector portrait? Okay. we're going to back the truck up now. You've learned the pen tool. Now we're going to play with some of the shape tools. And you can use pen tools and things like that, but we're going to use a lot more of the basic shape tool. So we're going to do that type of thing, okay? So we're going to go through kind of finding our face. For you all that kind of have an idea already, I want you to maybe play around with me today and humor me, because I would like you to create something on your own. Copying is great. If we were in a fine art class, I'd have you copy Van Gogh or Gauguin or some of the classics like Norman Rockwell or something like that to get a style. How many has ever copied someone else's cartoons? Or I don't care if it's anime or Pixar or Bugs Bunny or South Park or whatever that you all watch. How many's ever, let me see your hands again. You've drawn something, even if it wasn't the best thing in the world, you've drawn it before. Okay, now, you've done that on your own. Good job. I've done a lot of that as well. These books laying around, these are all my books that I brought in and just a small portion of them from my home. I study these things to get ideas. Whenever I have a client comes to me, I need to see body positions or something like that. That's what I do. So here's an idea to think about at some point. We'll go over that. Then we're going to go through, Malachi, don't freak out. But we are going to just talk about some of the expressions briefly, all right? Because that's there as well. Because you want to understand how your character moves a little bit. And then I'm not going to focus so much on the turnaround. This is kind of adapted a little differently. But then I'm going to show you how I created a basic shape yesterday while you were doing your self-portrait. I created this little guy, and ultimately you're going to create one in Illustrator and then break all the pieces apart. Okay? And so today, at the end of the day, what I'd like to see from you, that's due from you, is some formulation of a sketch of your character that's very basic. If you decide you're wanting to go more complex, that's fine, but it needs to be designed in a way that we can then have the arms, legs, eyes, nose, mouth, head, top part of the body, the chest, stomach, all in one shot, the torso, and all of those things need to be in separate layers. So you can then show us that you can have the full character as one piece, as one version, and then the basically broken apart version as well. All right, that's at the end of the day. So that's just an overview. I'm going to, unless it's really important, I'm going to just keep going. What do you got?
Do we have emojis?
We're going to go over that here in just a few minutes. All right, so I just gave you the overview. I want to show you this to kind of get your brain wrapped around kind of what's going on with it. What is character development? Just for fun, maybe to help. Also the video.
Hi, I'm Sergio Pamos, and I've been working in animation for over 25 years. And in that time, I had to wear many, many hats. I had to be a director, an animator, and a character designer occasionally. And I do enjoy character design especially. So today I'm here to tell you about 8 tips, things that I've learned over the years, that maybe you could find useful. 8 tips about how to become a better character designer. Number 1, know your subject matter. So if you got an assignment or a great idea, and you can't wait to dive right into it, right? You want to start drawing. Well, hold on just a second. Are you familiar with the subject matter?
Sketchbook's out.
Have you researched what you're supposed to be designing?
Take some notes on
Personally,
this.
I feel that this is a very necessary step, and it really shows when an artist neglects it. Let me give you an example. When I was approached to design the main bird characters in Rio, my knowledge of birds was nowhere close to where it needed to be for me to take on this challenge. Don't get me wrong, I could draw a somewhat convincing bird. I had a working knowledge of their anatomy and their mechanics. But not all birds are the same, and I have a lot to learn. Give this a try, put in the time to learn about your subject, and you'll see what it does for the quality of your design. Number 2, get through the bad drawings before you get to the good ones. No matter how you put it, character design is a process of elimination. Your first try isn't going to be the good one, or the second, or the third. It takes time to get yourself accustomed to the subject matter. Try out different shapes and styles and different ways to achieve the right attitude in your characters. Don't rush, persevere. I promise you, if you do this, you'll look back at your first attempts, and you won't even believe at one point you thought your first tries were good. And you'll be embarrassed to even show them. Be patient, and it will pay off. You'll see. Number 3, character. A character is a tool used to tell a story. As simple as that. If you're working on a film or a TV show as a designer, the director or the art director will come to you and describe the character that he needs you to design. The description has two parts. One, the physical attributes of the character, gender, age, occupation, attire, and such. Then for the second part, the psychological attributes. A backstory, character arc, motivation, personality traits, that sort of thing. Oftentimes I see young designers neglecting the second part in favor of the first one. They're more concerned about how cool it looks than about whether or not the character will fit the needs of the story. Back in the day, I designed and supervised the animation on Tantor the Elephant on Disney Stars. The directors did give me a description of the characters. I could begin exploring the design. For the sake of simplicity, let's boil it down to this. Tantor is a neurotic elephant. Elephant is clearly a physical part, which makes neurotic the psychological trait. So I did a lot of designs of Tantor, some of which actually I was far more excited about than the one we ended up using. But I quickly found that the cooler designs were not displaying the personality in any discernible way. They were just cool elephant drawings, but not any elephant in particular, just appealing shapes on elephants void of any character. And then I did this drawing that did something different. I tried to approach it from the character point of view. I noticed that whenever I acted out my idea of neurotic, I adopted this posture, where I sat my head into my shoulders and I looked around nervously. So I tried altering the design to be able to do that. It's actually quite a departure from an actual elephant anatomy because they're not able to do that. Their heads hang down like this. They cannot do this. But the moment the director showed that sketch, the reaction was immediate. That's it. That's Tantor. So take my word for it. If you approach it from the character point of view, you'll get better results every single time. Which brings us to number 4, getting the personality in there. One thing that has always surprised me about designing characters is how much power there is in putting the right attitude into your drawings. You may be tempted to place your characters in fairly standard poses. And that may be true for you as the artist, but when it comes down to showing your work, attitude trumps everything. I was shocked to find that oftentimes the directors would take the weaker design and disregard the ones that I thought were brilliant. Why? Well, simply because those designs were placed in a pose that displayed the right attitude for the character's personality. Trust me, if you're leaning towards one of your designs and you're hoping that's the one that gets picked, give him or her the most expressive attitude, the one that conveys the personality in the most appealing way. Number 5, get feedback. So here's a test I like to do just to check if I'm going in the right direction. Say my assignment was this. We need you to design a mischievous yet somewhat cute monster. Can be scary for children, but it still needs to be recognizable as a monster. Go. So what I would do is this. After I've done some work, I'd find someone and I'll show him my work. By the way, this person does not need to be an artist. As a matter of fact, it's better if they're not, in my opinion. But, and this is very important, I would not give them any information. All that I would say is, what do you see here? And if the response I get falls along the lines of the assignment that I was given, I'm on the right track. But if they don't get it, if they cannot describe the character to me back in the way that the assignment was given to me, then I need to try a different approach. Number 6, be adaptable. So there are some designers out there that have a very distinctive style, often so appealing and unique. That doesn't mean reason that they're so sought after. You know the kind of artist I'm referring to. I'm afraid I don't fit into that category. I'm more of a trial and error kind of guy. Don't get me wrong, we'll have our own style, but personally I try to stay open to as many influences as possible so my designs don't become repetitive and stale. Plus, I learned that I need to adapt the way I work to the kind of assignment and director I'm working with. Sometimes we'll be working with a director that has an artistic background, and he's probably going to be the kind of guy who can show rough sketches to and he'll get it. Other times, the person you're working for has the ability to extrapolate a sketch into anything other than a sketch. In those cases, I found that I need to do a bit of extra work, maybe render the characters in a more volumetric way or try different styles, maybe more realistic, maybe more cartoon. A bit of texture here, some volume there. In other words, it falls to you as the artist to bridge that gap and adapt to your director's needs, not the other way around. Number 7, stay inspired. Keep in mind that when I was trying to break into animation, it was a very different world. There was no internet, so if you wanted to find inspiration, you had a much harder time doing so. Usually it involved digging through piles of books in some dusty comic book store, hoping to run to a rare Illusion of Life or Flesh and Blair animation book. And when you did find one of those, it was something to be treasured for life. But look at what you have at your disposal today. Pinterest, YouTube, endless list of websites and blogs dedicated to the most specialized nooks and crannies, or anything you can come up with. And it's all for free. For someone like me, it's absolutely insane. So my advice to you is to take full advantage of this wonderful time we live in. Stay inspired, and it will show in your work. Number 8, challenge yourself. Lastly, I want to leave you with this. You don't learn anything new if you always stay in your comfort zone. It's only when we challenge ourselves, when we take a dive into the unknown, that we really advance. Not only will you learn something new, but you get the satisfaction of facing your fears and limitations and overcoming them. And by the way, if you persevere, if you don't turn away from the challenge, you will most definitely overcome it. Practice makes perfect. It really does.
Okay.
Well, there you go. I hope this was helpful.
This guy has a lot more on here.
You'd like to see more of these videos, you know?
So this is pretty awesome. It's the tips that were given by this gentleman. Hannah, if you could turn the light back on for me right behind you, that'd be awesome. So let's go over this. If you didn't put them down in your notes, this is not something that I'm looking for, but this is how you take notes, guys. All right. So when you find something like that, or if G or I are teaching you a new concept or something, take a note, sketch something down, something that will help you remember some of this stuff. These are important things. Somebody tell me, what's number 1? Yeah.
Know your subject matter and doing it for a client, and you don't know what the client wants.
Exactly. First thing you need to do in any kind of design is know your subject matter, know what the client wants. Jake, thank you for telling me that. Jake took notes before I did and was able to help me out on that. So I appreciate that, Jake. Gave me the first one while I was writing. So that's another thing as well. We can ask our friends to, if we miss something, hey, what's going on? What's number 2? Get through what?
Bad drawings.
Bad drawings.
Don't rush your drawings. You need to take time, and there's going to be a lot of bad sketches, and you
Yep.
just have to get through
So getting through bad drawings, that is basically pushing past the first couple thumbnails. That's why we do thumbnails. To get past those first, not necessarily bad drawings really, but those first ideas. We want to push ourselves to the next level. What's the third one? Character. Okay, what's the fourth one? So knowing a character's good, but putting the personality in it, that's awesome as well. How about this one, number 5? Get feedback. That's why a lot of you, it's good when I see you all asking each other, what do you think? Or asking G and I, what do you think? How about this one? Number 6 is be adaptable. Number 7 is stay inspired. Number 8 is challenge yourself. So all of this is for a purpose. How much money do you think that a character designer would get? Actually, I want you to record for me. Whatever anybody says, and you start with your own thought. Go up there and put in green what you think, Noah, a character designer, the number. Go ahead. As fast as Hogwarts would. Get your broom out and fly. Just put whatever number you think that it would work. You gotta love the costume for Character Development Day. I mean, come on. That's awesome, Noah. Whatever number you think, and then tell us what that number is.
$15K a year.
15K a year. Okay, somebody else. What else do we got?
$74,000.
End it up. All right, that's an educated guess. What else?
I was going to say
80,000.
80,000.
Okay.
80,000 you said?
Yep.
Keep going. What else? What other numbers? What if we were working for, say, Pixar? How much would we get? 100,000. Write it down. What if we were doing advertisement kind of character development as a freelancer or something like that? Well, 60 to 80. What else? What if we were doing comic book type characters? Designing those types of things. Or even doing the design and character development. What about those types of things? What do you guess? Somebody throw it out.
50.
What was it? 50? Alright, let's take a look. I have something up here that I'd like to share with you, and I flashed it just a little bit too soon. Let's... What? No. No, I don't want to submit any feedback. I'm in the middle of a lecture. Thank you. Alright. You can sit down if you... Oh, actually, you know what? Let's write the real things down. So, character designer salaries. What's the national average right here? 74,000. That's national average. Alright, let's go by companies. DreamWorks. DreamWorks Animation. 2 different salaries that they've actually found here. But we're looking at this number right here. I don't know if I can zoom. Yep, I can. Cool. Alright. Can you see it? Do you guys see that? Somebody
I
say
see
it.
that.
Somebody say it out loud. I know somebody up here is praying. 97 to 174,000. We also have character design for Sesame Street. These guys here. Can you tell me how to get to 119,000 to 129,000? All right. All right. And then Nickelodeon Animation. I've actually met someone that now works at a place called Space Junk. I had the privilege of going to that place. It's more advertisement in the middle of Columbus, and I believe it was working for Nickelodeon. And so Nickelodeon employee salaries or estimate of is about 44 to 48. Okay.
Someone do the math with us. How much is that a year? If they take no days off.
Let's just go. Let's go 45. 45 times 40 is about $1,700 a week. 1,700 times 10 is 17,000. Multiply out times 5. About $100,000 a year. It's probably $90,000 a year.
90, I just didn't know.
$90,000. I did that in my head.
There you go.
Alicia.
All right, so character designers looking for specifics from DreamWorks, salary or estimate. Basically, this could be freelance. A lot of these big name companies I've read on blogs and stuff like that of artists that I admire, they'll get freelance design doing character development. They could get $61 to $65 an hour. Computer graphic designers, character animators, Tippett Studios, never heard of them, but it's $111,909 per year. Anybody ever heard of High Impact Games? $70,000 to $78,000 on that one. How about Factor 5? Anybody heard of that? Okay, 85. High Impact Games again, and ImageWorks, digital character development, 120 to 129. So there is money in this type of thing. That's the point. Thank you, Louis. So let's take a look. I just want to show you guys some different things, because I've had privileges of doing a lot. And after this, we're going to get into the drawing. So this is the last video for a few. But I want to show you this just to kind of get your brain thinking about all the different stuff you can do. So for literally 1 minute, and then I'm going to stop this.
Companies are always updating their image to keep up with the times, or just because they feel like it's time for a change.
Thank you.
With this, we see logos, slogans, and mascots modified, with the latter of the group being the topic of this video.
Yep.
Which redesigns of famous park mascots were notable for well-known companies, and to go even further, impact.
Okay, I gotta pause this for a second. How many of y'all can do this in Illustrator? Thank you. Almost every last one of you has your hand raised. This is a character design, people. For all of you that feel like you can't draw, how many of you, if you feel like that's you, raise your hand. You don't feel like you can draw by hand, you're not really the best at that. It's not a bad thing at the moment to feel that way. It's okay. All right? You are welcome and I love you. You're awesome. I love all of you. But you, how many of you that just raised your hand feel like you, though, could do this in the computer? Yay! Perfect. And this is where it's come for you all that are interested in more of a 3D type design. That could be the redesign of it.
Pop culture. I'm going to discuss the changes to product mascots that cause
See how it's
most heads
changed?
to turn and ultimately change the image of the company for better or for worse.
Flat
So
cartoon to
by top 10,
3D.
I mean ones that were noteworthy in the short and long term of a company.
I mean, look at this. The Goofy cartoon, from the logo to the Goofy cartoon and different things like that.
It would not be overlooked by the public if these companies just decided to revert back to the old design.
Again, flat to a really cool design to over here as well. We've seen this in logos just recently, the last week or so, but now we're looking at it with characters as well.
Note is the changes can only be made to product mascot designs and not be a full-on replacement to the product mascot that already existed.
This one here is all over the board. Cookie Crisp. Or should I say it correctly?
Woo!
Thank you, Cy. That's awesome.
Erasing the older mascot from existence, like how Waldo the Wizard was replaced by Lucky the Leprechaun or Lucky Chuck.
So in this case, they changed the entire character for their brand. And this could be something realistic that comes across your plate one day. Not the actual bowl of cereal, but the job. To recreate and redesign these characters.
First. So let's get into the top 10.
And so that's what I wanted to share with you guys from that. If you want, I'll let you have these links later on the junior whiteboard, and you can watch them on your own if you want. But for right now, what I want to do with you all is to, let's see, where did we go? I essentially want to get to our actual workshop. Hannah, if you would please go ahead and turn the lights back up. Okay, get your pencils out. If you want to use the, if you want to use this paper, that's fine. Otherwise, you can go ahead and use the handout that I've given you. For all you watching the video, you should have one at your desk unless the seniors have taken it from you, which in that case I will print out more, or you can use what's online. It's on the junior whiteboard. Okay, so what I want you all to do is we're going to find the face. The first thing we want to do when we were looking at it is finding the character or the personality. So first though, I want you all to think about some basic shapes, alright? If you look at some of these ideas, these books, I got some different ones. There are some very, very simple ones. I want you guys to look at this just as an example here. This is literally circles and squares on this. For you all that are like, I can't draw. Can't draw. All I'm looking for from you guys today is some sketching. Just try, okay? Just go with me. We're going to dive into the unknown to advance. Okay, so we're going to dive into it. So we got circles, we got shapes. Literally the hair is like squiggly lines on this thing. Doesn't have to be rocket science here, okay? For you all that are into drawing and like amazing at your art and everything, I would probably like to see a little more from you. But there's dots for eyes. There's like U-shapes for noses, okay? So this is here if you want to look at it for inspiration, but I want you guys, when you see the circle, I just want you to fill it with some features. Eyes, nose, mouth, maybe ears. If you want to go that way, you can do it. But I want you all, if you would, it is 8:38. Let's take about 5 minutes. I'll talk it through, and we'll go with it, all right? So if you want, we can just do little tiny circles. If you want, here's another tip if you guys aren't sure what to do. For you guys that are, go ahead. What I like to do is I like to put kind of an X, this is a crossbar, in the shape of the face, or the shape that I'm doing here. So that little, where the lines meet, is usually the middle of the face. I'll put eyes here. I might do, let's do just a simple little half circle, or like a C there for a nose, and literally just a long line right here. And I got a cute little character. If I took that same shape, put the line up a little bit more, I could make the eyes a little bigger. I'm trying to go really loose here. And drawing from the side sometimes skews my drawing, so if they are skewed, I could make kind of like a hook, like I'm fishing, for a long nose. I could make a circle, and then another little line right there, and I got something. If you want eyebrows, just a line can work. Just want you to fill those shapes up. Have some fun. Jada, come on over. Come on over. Bring a chair. Come on over. It's going to be hard for you to see everything over there. Actually, I got a chair here. You can scooch it wherever you want. Or there's a chair actually over there on the table too. Cool. That's awesome. Do me a favor. Fill up the rectangle on there for me.
Do it now. Hey, while she's filling it up, I wanted to wish all the girls in here Happy International Day of the Girl. Do you guys know it's that day today? It's Happy International Day of the Girl today. International. It's everywhere.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Let's see, who else? Who else is done? Who else is done? If you've done one, then fill it up. Cool. Come on up. Marie. Whichever shape you want to do. Who asked? You did? Okay. Both of you? Yes. What's that? That's fine. You're fine. There's not really a parameter. I just want you to fill up the face with some shapes. Don't get too carried away. This is us getting into it. For you all that don't like to draw a whole lot, it's totally cool. Vary the lines. You don't have to stick with the lines. on that. If you work ahead and use up the other ones, that's fine. We'll just probably jump into our sketchbook a little bit more.